Hey, welcome back to Awesome Cuts Inc. Today we have a pair of brothers coming to get their cut today. One is on the spectrum, one is not. First kid right here, he is on the spectrum, and mom she was trying to decide if she wanted to keep the top the way it was and just have me cut down the sides. But after thinking about it, I think she made a good decision about letting me just cut the hair down to one even length all around. As you can see, he's having a little difficulties with me taking the clippers and going through his hair. If you don't know, a lot of kids with autism also has sensory processing disorder, and what that means is they are extra sensitive to things that you could normally tolerate. And you can see this in typical kids too. A lot of typical kids have a lot of issues with getting their haircuts because at their age they're not used to it. It really irritates them getting the hair pulled from the scalp. Even though it's getting cut by the blades, it can still pull the hair. And I always try to tell people we can't feel what they feel. So it's just everything, is heightened to the point where I won't say everything, but if they're sensitive to loud noise, it could be, I don't know how many times more louder than it would normally be for anybody else. But that's how it is. They get overstimulated and it becomes unbearable. But as you can see, I'm just doing my best with taking his hair down. At first, what I'm doing now, you see in the back, I'm going with the grain. So what that means is I'm going with the way the hair is growing out the scalp. And going against the grain is actually going the opposite way. Going against the grain will get the hair shorter, but for a lot of kids, like I said, they have a lot of sensitivities. So going with the grain is the best way to start out, because you'll be able to get the hair cut down without it snagging too much. So that's what I'm doing, especially in the back of the neck area. That's where it's really sensitive for kids on the spectrum. And so I decided to go with the grain, because if I would have tried to go against it, it really would have irritated him. And I don't know how the rest of this haircut would have went. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to, and normally this is a haircut for anybody who can tolerate haircuts. This haircut is just an all even cut with a shape up 10 15 minutes. But because you will see in the video, you will see me picking him back up because he's getting down from the chair. And so all that takes time. All the head movements, the slightest head movement will just make the haircut take longer than it normally would, especially when you get to the lineup part. If it's your first time running to our channel, we are Awesome Cuts Inc. We are a non-profit organization based out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and we provide haircutting services for individuals who are on the spectrum. For the most part, I will say males, because I kind of shy away with doing little girls' hair, because a lot of parents, they just want their hair trimmed. Now, if it's a young lady that gets a more masculine looking haircut, where it's spongy on the top, fade or anything like that, yes, I would do it. But because I'm working with shears, I can easily cut my finger trying to just trim the ends, or whatever the parents are desiring. And for that reason, I'll leave that for a stylist to do that also service the neurodivergent community. But hopefully one day we will get some stylists and some other barbers to help us out in this area, because there are thousands of parents that need this service, and not a lot of barbers want to do the service, and a lot of barbers don't want to cut kids' hair, period. So let alone a child that have sensory issues and things like that going on, that's going to constantly move around, and not going to allow them to give them the best cut they want to give them. As you see, I'm taking my time with the lineup. These trimmers are VGR. I got them off of Amazon. They may be like $36 to $40, and they're very kid friendly. The blades are not real sharp where they're going to irritate the skin, and I'm glad I found them. I don't know if I seen another barber use them or I just ran across them. But anyway, you can get them off of Amazon. VGR, they have a lot of different models. They have clippers too. So these trimmers really help me to, give the children a nice lineup without it causing any pain. Because you see that the little shoulder thing he did, that right there will not allow me to really line up the sides, because it's making that area too small for my hands and the trimmers to get to. So with all these things happening, this makes the haircut longer than it normally would be. But because this is what we do, I don't mind it. I'm not irritated. We love working with the kids. Right now, I am the only barber in our organization. We are a small organization. It's me, my wife, and my daughter. And sometimes we have free haircutting events where we get help from other barbers to come, so we can service more individuals on the spectrum. And my wife is the president, and she also bakes. She is over organizing the event, with decorations, with providing baked treats and store-bought treats. We get accessory toys, anything that can help someone that's having a hard time receiving a haircut, receive a haircut. So it's not just little children that we cut. It's just that most of the time it's the younger kids that have the most difficulties receiving a haircut. But and we also provide pictures. We set up a backdrop, and our daughter, she records the whole event, and she take pictures. And if you ever go to our Instagram at Awesome Cuts Inc., you will see how an event will look, either when we're invited out or when we are hosting our own. And also, if this is an area that you are very interested in, or if you're a parent or a provider and you want to help us to get to the point where we have our own space that's just for the families, then please consider making a donation. The link is in our bio, the PayPal link. You can donate any amount you want or desire there. You see back to this haircut. So you see, the constant, the head movement. These are the things, if you want to get in this area, if you want to service individuals who are neurodivergent, you have to, this is what you're going to face. This is what you're going to have to have patience for. And fortunately, I do have the patience for it because my wife and I, our youngest son, who is 19 now, is autistic, and we went through the same thing with haircuts. It was very difficult. There was a lot of sweating, a lot of holding him down, holding his hands, trying to hold his head still. And that went on for a couple of years before he stopped resisting the haircuts. And then after he stopped resisting the haircuts, it took a while for him to allow me to give him a lineup. So you see, I'm doing my best to give them the best lineup I can. And that's what I really try to do. I don't just do what I want with the kids or the individuals coming to the shop. I really try to give them the haircut they parent desire for them to have. But you do get to a point where you have to say to the parent, hey, and we come to the decision, hey, this is not working. Let's do something more simpler, especially if it's their first time getting a haircut. Parents, please, I know you want your son to look a certain way, but just consider this, that he doesn't like haircuts. So the likelihood of him getting the fade, any type of fade, and lineup is unlikely. I'm not saying it won't happen, because we see it a lot. A lot of times I'm able to give the child a haircut that the parents are requesting, but a lot of times that's not the case. So back to this lineup. You see how long this is taking, right? This is taking on this side. If you can notice, is very light. So I notice on one side, the area is called the vertical bars. It's the line that goes straight down on the side of the forehead, and then you get the curve. Some people call it a C cup. Some people call it a hook. Some people call it an arch. Whatever you call it. So you have the straight line, and then you get the arch on the side. So his line, which is called the vertical bar, on the left side is very faint. It's very faint, and I don't know if I put holding spray on his hair so it could show up more. I don't really know, but I noticed that, and I had to readjust the lineup. That's another thing. You got to be ready to move at any second. The slightest movement will throw that line up. One time I didn't put like a line on top of before you get to the front hairline, because the kid moved, and it was just like, oh goodness. So these are all the things, the back of the neck, those trimmers I got, they're called, a company called Red, and I had these for a while, but they're very kid friendly also, where it won't irritate their neck and things. So I try to do my best to find things that will do the job without causing pain. Now you see the shoulder coming down again, right? He started moving the shoulder, and you have to be careful. Even though these trimmers are not sharp, if he squeezes my hand and the trimmer against his skin, it will irritate his skin, and it might even cause abrasion. So although they're not sharp, they can possibly still, cause an abrasion against the skin because of the movement. But you see, I'm just doing my best to get to that area, trying to wait for the right time. He's moving up. I think right here I was able to get it. I think I actually got to the point where I said, let me stop trying to do this because it's not happening. I think that was the point right there where I stopped. So now I'm just going to put some moisturizing cream in his hair by Can2. A lot of people say Can2 is bad. What I read about it, some people say it has some stuff that's not good for the hair, but I'm not sure. I'll look more into it. But it's not good for individuals who have very fine texture hair because it will weigh the hair down. But for most, black people, we can put this product in our hair and it won't cause any problem. So I'm at the end of this cut, and you can see I did my best giving him a lineup, and Mom was happy just getting the hair off of him, and his brother that's right there, he's coming up next. So here was his little brother. I actually put these haircuts in the opposite sequence as when it happened. So when you seen him holding his mom's hand when his brother haircut was over, he got his haircut first. And as you can see, you're going to witness in this video, he's a little irritated because he had to go first. I don't know why he didn't want to go first, but he didn't want to go first. And normally, he didn't give me a hard time with this haircut, but you could tell he wasn't feeling it. He wasn't. Me and him, he usually smiling, he usually happy. So I was like, Mom, like, what's going on? Like, what's going on with him? And she was like, I think because he had to go first, that's why he's upset. So he kept the poker face the whole haircut. And so with this haircut, Mom decided to keep the top the way it was. I tried to pick it out the best I could without, really causing him a lot of discomfort. So I picked it out some and I left the rest. And so there's a couple kids that get this type of haircut that I service. And the problem is because I can't really pick the hair out, it's hard to blend the short hair to the longer hair, because normally you will pick the hair out, and so you can blend the hair, from the short hair to the long hair on the sides, but you can't blend hair that's curled up. You know what I'm saying? So because his hair is curled up and I can't pick it out, it's hard to blend it in without making the top look more narrow than it should. You'll wind up having a mohawk by the time you finish trying to blend it perfectly. So what I did a little clipper over comb just to do my best to, get a nice blend for this haircut. So right now I think I got 1.5 guard on, and I'm trying to blend it to the sides. And if you notice on my wrist, my left wrist, I got this brace. Last week, after doing haircuts for a day, I came home and my wrist was really bothering me. And so, it was clicking a little bit. So I'm like, hold up, I'm not trying to get carpal tunnel. And it's not because I was cutting a lot of hair, it's because of how I was flicking the clipper up and down with just my wrist and not moving my whole forearm, so I'm trying to avoid carpal tunnel because I want to be able to do this for many years. This year I'll be 49, and I don't know how long I'll be cutting hair, but while I can, I want to not injure myself so I can continue to do it. So we almost at the end of this haircut, and you can see his face, like he is not smiling at all. Like, he is so mad. He's extra mad right now. This is my homie, right? He usually be smiling, laughing and everything, have his tablet, but not today. You said, look how he looked up at me, like I'm scared. Even him, he was moving a little bit. He started moving a little bit when I had to do the lineup, so it caused me to readjust things. I think I put a little holding spray on one of those cotton pads, and I started doing that. And the holding spray I use is called liquid razor. I think I've seen a barber on YouTube, his name is Get Beam, use it, and I like it because it does the job, but it's not cold. So most holding spray has a cold feeling, and I know if I'd use that on the kids, it will startle them. It will probably make them feel some type of way. They might not want me to finish giving them the lineup after I put the typical holding spray on the pad and wipe around the outline. And I put the holding spray on there because a lot of times, when the kids are upset, they start sweating. So they start sweating. Now the hair is moving. You can't really give a neat outline like you're trying to do. But that's not his case. He's just upset. But his big brother was. I think I put holding spray on the cotton pad and did his too. It just stops the hair from moving, crawling back while you trying to line them up. So all I did for his haircut, I took a number 1 guard. I went up to like the middle section, which is called the middle section of, you see where I'm coming to the point right in the middle of his the side of his head, and then I took a 1.5 guard and tried to blend it into the top. Because she didn't, ask for a fade or anything, but I didn't want to take a number 1 guard all the way up to the top of, the longer section of his hair, and then try to blend it from there. You can do it, but I don't think it looked right, and because I can't really pick his hair out like I want to, it would have made it difficult. You see, if you notice, he jumped a little bit. Like he is so mad today. I don't know why, because he had to go first. But we still got through the haircut, and he was all right afterwards. Oh, also, if you are in the Philadelphia area and you want to book an appointment, you could go to our website, to learn more about our story and why we do what we're doing. And you can also find a link near the bottom of the home page where you can book an appointment. If you book an appointment, they will ask for your debit or credit card information. You are not going to get charged when you book the appointment. The only way you get charged is if you don't show up and you don't show up after the 15-minute grace period, and you didn't cancel. You got up to an hour. That's the closest I could put it for an appointment to get canceled and not get charged anything. And you won't get charged the full amount. I think it's set at like 40% of what the haircut is. So if you do a no call, no show, you will get charged. If you don't show up after 15 minutes, you will get charged. Just let me know you're on your way, you're in traffic, then I can cancel the appointment for you and you won't get charged. But if you just don't do anything, you will get charged 40% of what the haircut costs. And some people may have a problem with that, but consider this as other parents that made it. They might have wanted that appointment slot. So now we're missing money because, and not only missing money, we're not able to provide the haircut for the other child because something. And I understand things happen. It could be an emergency where you couldn't call. You know what I'm saying? And that's definitely understandable. But you will get charged. You still will get charged. But I would definitely understand if you couldn't call because of emergency. And our goal with Awesome Cuts is to have, provide the service for free. We don't want any parent to have to charge at all, but, we don't get any government or state funding. We're a small nonprofit. This is, I think we're going on our second year of being a nonprofit. So, and we have gotten small grants, like they call micro grants, like $1,000 or less, that helped us out with supplies and things like that. So if you book an appointment, I have a little bin, and in that bin I have some like candy, like lollipops, things like that. Nothing that your child can swallow and choke on. So it's definitely only lollipops, and there's some sensory toys in there also. We try to do everything possible to bring comfort to the child that's getting the haircut. So now I'm just checking back over the lineup to make sure everything is even on both sides. Giving children lineups can be very difficult because the area between the front hairline and the eyebrow can be very small. So depending how big the blade is on the trimmers, if you're not careful, you can put a part in the eyebrow. believe me, because I think I've done it like 3 weeks ago to a child. I'm trying to show him the haircut, trying to see how I like it. He don't want to look at it. He don't want to smile.
You know you want to smile.
He don't want to do nothing.
Come on, man. You can smile a little bit.
He trying to.
Come on, man.
He want to smile, but he just gonna stay being angry.